Hey, welcome back. Session 3. Today I'm going to go over the poster rough and then the computer rough. So what we're going to do today is we're going to transition. We did our 3 sketches of ideas, because those sketches are just ideas. Like I'm doing, forget my theme. Glasgow, excuse me, I wanted to get it out. Glasgow. And that was my theme. And I found like 3 examples, and I kind of copied those examples. I worked over them, but I changed them. And I had those 3 ideas. Those are 3 ideas. Those are just a starting point. I'm going to pick one of those ideas and do a tighter rough of it. Make some changes. Think about it a little bit. We're going to go through that little process. And then I'm going to bring it into the computer and kind of start some of the design process. But again, it's a design rough. I'm not going to do the full design. I don't necessarily have to do it full, but I can get a lot done in a little time, have it checked, and then sit back and refine it. These are about like the steps you take when designing. You don't ever just jump right in. I mean, okay, I have very small projects into which you jump right in, but you got to give yourself the time to think and develop and design and work on these outside of like just the time when you're working on it. You gotta meld, you gotta like look around your world and be like, oh my God, I saw that thing and this reminded me of that, and I'm gonna add that. If you're in my brand and media, I have something today to talk to you about that like happened last night, and it like changed everything. So this stuff does happen. And like, when did it happen for me? Last night at 9:30 at night. And I was like, putting my kid to bed, and I had this idea, and I got in the bed and I went back to the iPad and like sketched it out. Like, okay, great. Got to give yourself time. So this is development process of creating posters. Yeah, you got 3. Oh, you had to do 9 quick drawings. That should have taken you 0 time last week. Like, in the scheme of things, it's just the research and thinking about what you do. Today, it's just refining one of those sketches, or this week, refining one of them. We're refining it in sketch stage. So we have a lot of our thought processes done before we go in the digital stage, because the digital stage, you're ending up thinking about the final look, and you don't want to be mixing like a lot of like that final look with the creative, like, oh wait, maybe if I should do this instead. And then like you're dealing with tools instead of just quick lines. I know, I hear it. I'm not a good drawer. I'm not a good sketcher. Again, it's just to get the ideas out, and it helps. And you can work on it, develop that skill, develop those little sketches, do little doodles here and there. Like, even if you can't draw, graphic design sketching is easy, because you're just trying to be like, I want this here, I want this here, I want this here, and I want this here. I can draw that out as fast as I say it, rather than in Illustrator, I'm like, okay, now I got to draw a box. And then I'm going to copy and paste it, and I'm going to move it over here. And I got to copy and paste it. I want it here, and I think I want one here. I think I want here. And like, that's what I do. So we're in session 3. And so I'm going to work backwards this week. And I'll dabble into one of these bad boys in the second lecture. But today, one of the Art Nouveau or 20th century. I think I'm going to probably do 20th century. I don't know. I try to switch back and forth for everybody to kind of show the Illustrator and design work, tricks, tips, and all that. But today we're going to do final sketches and roughs. So create one final sketch for each poster design. That's 3 sketches, 3 final sketches. So 1 from each era, right? You had 3 different eras that you chose. You did 3 sketches. I want you to pick your favorite one generally, and then work from that. This is my favorite one. Okay, develop that one. You're going to have the most success if you pick your favorite one. And then I want you to begin your poster designs, computer rough drafts. Put them in, start working on them. When we say like concurrently, is like you can go back and forth in each one. Don't try, if you start working on one, get it set up, and to be like, I'm going to set up all 3. I got this down pat. It's almost, I want to say like almost assembly line, where like I got my 3 sketches done. I'm going to scan all 3 sketches in. then I'm going to open up Illustrator and I'm going to start one artboard and get it done and be like, okay, I got my artboard and I'm going to put everything in that I need to have. And I'm going to do the other two. So I keep up that momentum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then maybe I'm like, maybe I'll drop in all the logos, you know, each one, if that's pertinent, you know what I mean? Like if you're using that standard logo. So, and that's how we're going to work. So let's stick around. What did I do? What have I been up to? All right. So this is the design base that I went with. And this was my sketch from last week or last session. And I checked this out and I was like, oh yeah, it's good. It's good. And I was like, oh, there's not much I want to change. I want to do a couple more things and I don't want to make it like sew them. And I think I strayed quite a bit. And so I just made it like a 50% gray because I now draw a bunch in any digital tool I can because I can just pick it up wherever I want. Then I like brought down the opacity. And again, anybody who wants to come in and do digital sketching with me and hang out, please come in. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 until 4. Just come on in. Try these amazing tools out. You're shorting yourself if you don't. And then I just kind of drew on top of it. And I was like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do this. So we have our logo. And then I wanted those, oh my God, I forget the name. The connecting part of the Lego at the top. Oh, my son would be so mad if I forgot the name of those. They're not pips, that's a dice. But then I'm like, okay, I want the logo there. I kind of like restructured this little box here. I still want those 3 points from the website. And I'm going to add little bricks here. These bricks will have the name in it, like refuse, reinvent, whatever. And I'm just going to go to the website and recheck it. I actually have the website up. And then it's going to be mirrored because I like that mirror look. And then I think these are just going to be bricks for the sake of bricks. And then we're going to have a minifig head in the middle. That is one creepy looking face right there. I'm almost sad I drew that. But there I have it. So I'm going to turn this off. Oh, and then in the background, and turn that one off. Yeah, I don't want a brush tool. I put in like these cyan lines, and I think I'm going to make it really very faintly look like that's a wall of bricks in the background. Now, some things to note when doing this for myself and for anybody working, and I do this every time I get a Lego project. People do these Legos that are really off kilter. I am going to use an image of an actual Lego for size and proportion every time I represent a Lego. I'm not guessing. I'm going to go on the internet, find a picture from Lego and use that. Far too often we're like, oh no, I know what that looks like. And you get it wrong and your client will be like, what? That doesn't look like our product. You're like, oh no, yeah, it does. It's a Lego. It's got a square in that. And they're like, no, there's actually precise proportions that Lego's built on. I happen to know this because I got a Lego freak kid. But there we go. So I got this. I'm going to hit File, Save. And I know this is in the cloud. And this allows me to open an Illustrator as my background. So I'm going to do my poster in Illustrator. I thought I had Illustrator open. Oh, you're right. Then. And for me, just a starting point, I'm going to go New File. It's going to be Print. It's going to be inches. And I'm going to have to readjust it. But I'm going to start with 24 by 36. I'm going to set bleed. You have to have bleed. Everybody make sure you have bleed and a margin. And I'm going to hit Create. Now, before I put in any of my other, I'm going to put in a layer. I'm going to call it Sketch. And I should be able to place File, Place from Open Cloud document. I've got it in 126. And there it is. Glasgow Sketches, place. And then I'm just going to place it in. And I'm just going to, like right now, again, scale it. Hold down Shift. Don't ever not hold down Shift when you change the size of things. We never want to distort. Dude, this is like pretty spot on for 24 by 36. Oh, I can use this size, I think. I may want to proportion it better. No. I just have to make it a little wider. So I'm actually, which gives me more room. So what I'm going to do is make it a little shorter than I need. Kind of get it centered in there, and then I can lock that. Now I'm going to put in my margin, because I'm actually, this turned out, I thought I was going to have to resize, and I waited for you all to show you like, oh, I may have to resize my poster, but this is pretty spot on. I'm pretty happy with that. So margin, and 24 by 36, and I want my margin pretty big. So I'm going to, if I do this, that means I want my margin, it's like 22 1/8. So I'm going to go with a 1/2 inch margin, which would be 24 minus 1 is 23. 36 minus 1 is 35. There we go. 23 by 35. I want a 0 fill. I want a stroke of a magenta. This recent color thing is pretty rad, but I got to learn how to, because this is new, I have to learn how to like adjust it, because I don't need 30 blacks in here, and every time I do a black, you know, like that's irritating. I gotta learn, look that up. When I find out more, I'll let you all know. And that's the margin, 1 point, and I want to align to artboard for right now, center, center. That's a pretty tight margin. I'm gonna go 22, tab 30, 34. I think I want a broadened margin. I want like a nice gap all the way around. So I adjusted my margin. So I know I don't want anything going past that point. That's why I have a margin in there. The color can. And then final is crop marks. I still see a few people having trouble with the crop marks. It's a two-step process. You make a box the size of your document. You check it, 24 by 36. You make sure there's no fill and no stroke. And then you go to FX right here under Appearance, Effects, and the third one down, crop marks. If you're not seeing that, you need to be working with properties. Properties in Illustrator came out a few years ago. Okay, I want to say maybe more than a few years ago. And at first I refused to use it. I was like, no, I have all my palettes the way they used to call those palettes. I have all my palettes the way I want them. It works great for me. And then after a while, I was like, wait, this thing changes every time I change. I'm like, I'm in, because you only have to go to one panel instead of like 50 different panels. So if you're like, oh, I don't use it, I don't like it, use it, like it. All right, so in my layers, I also know I'm going to need the logo, and I just put logos, and then I'm actually going to make a reference area. So for brick reference logos, I'm going to go online. Got our bricks and minifigs. I already did one. I'm going to take this one too. And so this is 900 by 900. I looked for the biggest logos I can find. This is 3,840 by what? These are huge. They're not going to look shitty when zoomed in. And it's all it is. Like, it is what it is. I already copied this one over. I'm going to copy this one, save image as, and it goes to my poeter parts. So I have to learn how to spell better. And then I already dropped that one in. It's WebP. So I may have to adjust it, but I'm not worried about that right now. And then I'm going to say Lego standard brick. It's actually called a 2x4. 2 on top, 2 wide, 4 across. And like, you want, like, see this is what I want. Look at that. So I'm not going to screw it up, and I'm just going to copy and paste. I'm going to save image as. This is my reference. Poeter parts. Save. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to go to bricks and minifig. I want to go to their website. And I want these. So I'm going to zoom out. I can save the image as. That's fine. Yep, save. Save. I'm right clicking. I go on that and I hit right click. And then for these, I'm just going to take a screenshot. Guess what else you could do? Copy and paste. If I wanted, like if I had room, like say like one of my other posters, I wanted that text in there, just copy and paste it. One and done. So logos, let's see if I can put the logos in with web apps. File place. I want to go on my computer. That's the only part about the Google Cloud. I don't know if you guys are, or the cloud for Adobe is the images. They really are like picky about what images you can upload. So you can't upload the control. Like just every kind of image, they're like really picky. Look at that. Perfect. Are they transparent backgrounds too? Perfect. I just like, why not just slap this one in right where I sort of want it? I'm holding down Shift and Option. Again, every time you touch a logo, you better touch a Shift. Holy cow. I was pretty correct on that, eh? Oh, you know what? And then see, as soon as I do this, I'm like, oh, something's wrong. I need to pull my guides. Because I do want to make sure I'm centered on everything when I work. There we go. So now, like, now I can double check that logo. Look, see everybody how far off I was? I'm just gonna tap that over. I'm just doing that because I'm just happy. And then I have the 3 R's. I'm gonna put it like 3 R's. And then I'm gonna put that looks off center though. Well, my drawing's probably off center. We'll come to that point because I have, lovingly, I have just a match. Oh, I got to get a brick head too. All in due time. I don't have to do this all like immediate. I want to get you guys started and not have you watch too much. But then again, I'm going to place, bonk, 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 place, 1, 2, 3. Now these came out real small. I may have to rebuild these or rethink them. And I know when I talked last time, I thought I may actually like redo these for less color and more the idea of the drawing to match the style. Let's go get a brick head. Oh, I gotta call it Lego. Images. I mean, I just want this. Perfectly straight on. But I should do this. Like, oh, that's up. But it's if this is Lego minifigures enameled head by and shop and stop brand Lego. Yeah. The reason I'm checking this, and this is actually kind of perfect, is I don't want to distort the image. You know what I mean? Like I want to make sure that my proportions are correct. That I'm not like, oh, I drew, I know what a minifigure head looks like. I just drew it. No. And I'm going to redraw it. Oh, and then reference. So I go file, place. I want this and this, place. Put that there for now. Again, this is just a reference. I actually don't want it right there right now. And then this is my brick size. Once I kind of start this, I'm stopping in the idea of the size of one, like I'm not going to change the size of the bricks once I start working. So if I do a brick that's this size, these need to then be in proportion. So like these may, if I say I want the brick to be this size and then repeat across, then this brick may only be a 2 version because this is scaled. So as you can see, Lego does 1, 2, 3, 4. Like there's very proportional. They have this weird proportional size. So now I'm kind of like at the point of like almost artworky. Like, where do I want to start? Let's start and let's do brick. Brick background. So this will give me my starting point. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go zoom in on this guy. And I'm going to start with the 2x4. It's the most classic part, but on my design, I'm going to have to end with I want to do that green that we started with. It might be an off green, but whatever. And then I don't want a pink stroke on it, I'll tell you that. I don't need the pips, the top parts, except for the top. But I think it's kind of important to, so I know. I don't want to do that. You know, so I know that every time I do it, it's correct. Which may be a hassle. So I'm going to group this. First, let's make sure that spacing's correct. But it looks super correct. Guess what? Computer, make it perfect. Oh, it's pretty damn perfect. Then I'm going to grab all this and I'm going to complete it. And it's like one piece now. And I want a stroke on it, but I want the stroke to be this color, but I want it to be a tint of it, like the lightest tint ever. So I'm going to take this color and I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to go to spot color and it can be CMYK. I'm going to hit OK. Now I have spot color version of it for the stroke. And then when I go here, I can just do a tint of it. So it's not pure white and I'm not doing thick. I'm going to do 50% and I'm going to do a 0.5 stroke. So why all this seems like crazy, hey? Did all this work just to make a brick? But now, like when I go across, and this is where I want the scaling to come in. This is where I know, like, if I'm using my margin, let's say I use my margin as the base. I want to end on a equal brick. So if I pull this, and then I hit duplicate and duplicate, I want to end just like I ended here. It doesn't need to be a full brick because I can cut it to I want the brick pattern, so I want to end on a 2. Does that make sense? So I'm going to end on 2. And I have to double check that this gap, the starting and end gaps are different. See that? It's like a little different right there because then when 2 are together, so I have to go half of that. And I know a lot of you are like, oh my God, this is insane. It kind of is. But I know that it's going to be correct. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this right here. I'm just going to do a block. It's going to go right up to my there. I'm going to select the final brick in this, and then I'm going to use this Pathfinder, and I'm going to scrub all this out and then hit delete. Oh. Then I'm just going to go there and hit delete. And now I have an ender of 2. And then I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to do it so it locks in. And then I'm going to flip it because I want this half brick over here now. So I'm just going to do that. So see, short, short. It's like, now it looks like a house. And then I can take these and go up. Now I just realized another problem I'm going to run into is the height. What am I going to do about the height? If this ends funny, I may have to readjust my entire document. And now for this, I'm just going to, because I did that, I can duplicate. Pretty damn close. I'm going to leave it at that. That I can live with. And all I'm going to do is grab everything. And I want more open white space at the bottom. So I'm just going to tap these up until they hit the top margin. There's my background. You know, like, all right, I may have to adjust some things in here. But we'll see how it turns out. So I can almost like turn this off. And then work on another area. And then work, you know, I got my brick. Oh, so now I got my brick size. I'm going to copy that. And if I turn that off and then I go to the 3 R's, you know, like say I want to work in here now and I go V, there's my brick. Now, like I said, well, here I can work down the middle. So whatever I do here will just get copied and flipped over here. So is this brick size big or small? You know, it might be fun to have variation. So why don't I do a 3 and a 2? So a 3 is, you know, I got to cut that in half. So it's just like, oh, how do I figure out halves of things? Well, I'm just going to make a little cheater. You can even like bring a guide, pop that there. Do this, delete, grab these, do that, not that tool, this tool, go through it, back out, delete, and I'm going to do that once more. But I'm going to do it on this one. So tidy square, pull a guide. I'm telling you right now, because I'm thinking ahead, I'm talking to you. Get rid of this. This is the hardest part of my design, is getting this done. Once this is done, I got some lines to draw and some other things. So from start to finish, 1 hour. And then it's not even going to take me an hour. I talked to you guys for like 15 minutes first. But I can have this one rough done in an hour. And a lot of it is, you know, knowing the tools. I already have my sketch. So I'm not fighting a sketch. You know what I mean? Like I have the sketch. 3 brick goes here. 2 bricks will go here. And then, you know, you always use your special key commands to make things roll. Look at that. 4, 3, 2. Okay, I know I have my background. I got my little circle icons here, which I need to figure out. And then like for those, I'll kind of do a really rough you know, what would I do? I was thinking of each of these would have like yeah, that's what I thought. What the hell? A circle, an ellipse, find that center. Use your key commands. And then I want that outline. So I'm going to go to properties. And then right now I'm just going to work in black because I can change it all later to like gold or whatever I want it to be. And then I'm going to do a thick line so I can see it. Because the other thing here I should do is in the layers, sketch. There was this way. Didn't watch this. Okay, because this layer has a sketch on it, you can do this thing where you double click on it and you said dim image to 50 and hit OK. So I double clicked on there. I learned this a while back and I was like, I kind of forget to use it a lot. And I'm like, that is so great for reference. Isn't it? Like you just, but it can only be an image. Like, so if I did this brick background and I go and I double click on it and dim images to like 25, nothing happens. But then if you place an image there and that's turned on, you'll be like, what's going on? So really use it sparingly. And like I use it when I use a reference like that. So now I can just double check like this. And I just want that. And I want it, properties, I want it thicker. Let's go to 10 for now. I'm going to check the size. Like that's like really big around it. So quick keys, let's make it smaller. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. Then I want this linking thing. I think what I need to do is like kind of go like from there to here. Because I want it like consistent. And then here to here. And then I'll cut it right there, you know. So then I'll grab these and I'll go to my pen tool and I'll add. And I'll add. And then I can take the middle, click on that. And then these two, well, wait, before I do that, but what? Where do my points go? No, they're there. Okay, never mind. So I'm going to copy and paste this so I can remove it so I can get it proper. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure I get that V point perfectly in the center. And if I don't have, you know, that reference, it's going to look off. So then I can just rotate it. Oh, they're spaced out differently though too. Meaning, okay, so there's something else I want to do. Is this height should be this height, should be this height. So I'm just going to create some boxes. If I run center point to center point, it should be the same here. So this has to come up. To there. Now, the distances and everything are all exactly the same, or pretty damn close. That the distance between this icon and this icon is the same distance between this icon and this icon. And then if I pull a guide referencing that, like I should actually reference this one and not that one. So I'm going to reverse out and I'm going to go to there and I'm going to pull a guide referencing the middle of that. And then this gets tapped over. I'll grab both so that they're aligned. this I'm gonna take some play. You know what I need to do is I actually need to mark the center point for myself here, not guess. I hate when it does that. So this is it, you know, and you play around. This is design, eh? I'll just keep going and going and going. And like I said, you spend 1 hour. I did my reference. Sure, like I sort of had my reference early. This never works. I'm going to try this tool. Oh, it worked for once. That used to shut my computer down. So it used to, like back in the day, referencing a point for using the rotate tool would just ruin my computer. Like it hated that move. And if you guys ever have questions, comments, like, oh, how'd you do that? Wait, can I see that again? 1, these are recorded. 2, come and talk to me. 3, come in the building and work with me. My God, like, you know, it's so much fun. And just like, I love this stuff. I love hanging out and doing it. Let's get these last 2 items in. I was like, how come I can't see anything else? Everything's green. Let's just, for just the sake of seeing it, I'm doing this. I don't know my final color scheme yet. Oh, and then the logo. Turn that off. I'm gonna put in, I don't know, I'm gonna call it lines. I just want a layer for these lines. I'll probably take out all the lines and put them all in one layer. So when I do an adjustment and say like, I want the lines gold and at 10 point, I can grab them all at once and make them gold and 10 point instead of like flailing around and being like, I gotta find the one, gotta find the other. This I'm gonna go right off of there. I'm gonna hold down shift. Let's go to here. I know there's a circle reference mark there, so I'm holding down shift. Click a drag. I'll go here. I'm now thinking like I may reference a circle for this, like a true circle. That's the center mark for the document, so I'm not going to go to that quite yet. Hold on, shift. So partway through, I'm like, I can't see what I'm doing. Just go to properties and turn that off for a minute. You can keep going. And I'll go in and refine that. You know, like off camera, I'll go in and I'm gonna refine my and smooth everything and make it, you know, gorgeous. So if let's just like go up to 12. And then I'll, you know, same thing down here. And then I just have to put in the parts and then reverse it and flip it for the other side. So I kind of lucked out on that design aspect. Hold on shift drag. Again, all these will get fine-tuned to get like the curves to match. But I will do that off camera. Oh, that's too tight. Look at that crap. So yeah, you know, I got to go in and adjust that, bring that up. So like some things I have to fix. And I'm not just going to pull these bricks because I have these bricks and they're perfect. Oh, they're the right size. So I'll adjust my design instead. So then Then I can like flip this, but I won't flip it. I'm going to refine this. I can refine one half of this, get exactly how I want, and then flip it. And then we know, like, you know, then I'll build the Lego head, and I'll put that in the middle. I'll put in the text, you know, refine, whatever. I feel like these may be blank, and may have to find something to go in there, but I don't know. So that's the rough process. Like I said, I didn't do any of this in advance. God, as this file. Save as. Save the cloud. I'm doing this to remind you guys, always save your work. 126. I'm going to call it Glasgow. Glasgow _01. See. And then, so that's the computer rough. It's not done, but it's at a point, you know, like with probably 15 more minutes, so it would be 1 hour dedicated to this, maybe one poster, not even, because like I said, 45 minutes dedicated to the one poster, and then I'm done. Like I have everything set where I need. And then next week I spend another hour refining, and you're done. You know, break up your time. You know, can't say this enough. Break up your time. Work on a little every day. Don't just work on Sundays. You know, like, oh, so I work on Sundays. Like last night, 9:30 at night, I got an idea. I sat down and I knocked out my idea, because that's when ideas come. And it is an awesome idea. And it wouldn't have come to me if I wouldn't have taken a break, or like had a chance to think of something different. When you're just jamming and just trying to only do the design in one day, blah, 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 you're like in one sit down session, you're not giving yourself that time to be creative and explore the world. So cool. Question, comments, concerns, you know how to reach me. Everything like that. I'm happy. Please come in, work with me. I love this. It's so much fun. And take care. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.